Yo, hello everybody. It's Jester. I'm here with the long-awaited episode. Today, we're going to be interviewing Aeroflame. Introduce yourself.
Yo, it's Aeroflame, the undisputed GOAT of the community. What's up?
What's up, guys? So, today I'm going to ask him a variety of questions, and just like the previous interview, we're going to see, the mixed opinions of the community and see what everybody thinks. So, the first question, Aero, would be, what is your current view in the debate community?
My current view on the debate community is that honestly, the debate community is like butt cheeks water. I think that a lot of people are just obsessed with like clout and trying to get famous off of it. Like everybody wants to be Seth or Six and this, that, and the other. And honestly, I think that's detrimental for the community as a whole. Uh, because people are just like utilizing like loud mic in, trying to yell and trying to win debates in like pretty much any way they can. Like they're like mercenaries for debate. And that's really made everything fall off. Like I think everything's stagnated. And I think that's why we've had like the same like seven debate topics that have been debated prevalently for like the past 2 years. So I think the debate community is super falling off as of right now.
Okay, okay. It's a valid. And then, just a general question. What do you consider the old gen of debaters and then the new gen?
Um, I think the old gen, I think anyone who came before the big schism, where Rose Kai made a bunch of those people come to the original Rakuzan, like all those TikTok people. I think that if you were before that, you're considered old gen, like before the huge influx. And that's just how I've been thinking of it. I think of new gen as everybody who came in during during that TikTok, like huge TikTok era. So technically, I'd consider Jester like you, or sorry, you like one of the earliest new gens because you were right there as soon as the TikTok stuff was popping off.
All right. And so this would be like a combination of two questions. So if the old gen debaters are to pull up on the new generation, and this would be leading into, do you really think that the quality of debaters has decreased overall? What would you think would happen?
If the if we were to have like the top five old gen versus the top five new gen,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I think that if you were to say like who's the top five top five old gen, I think that I don't know. I don't even know who I would say off the top of my head. I think Seth's confirmed. I think me is confirmed. I think Trini is confirmed. Off the top of my head, I guess if I'm talking purely objectively, I'd probably have to say like Noodles and then I don't even know who the fifth old gen would be. Like genuinely, I think that a lot of these new gen people are better than a lot of the old gens, right? I think that if you come across someone like me, for example, I think, or say, Trini, there are a couple of the old gens that are able to keep with the times and learn new things, learn the lines of logic. When Jade introduced like theology and, different debate and logical terms, different things like that, a lot of the old gens could not keep up and they ended up getting retired by a 12-year-old. But luckily for me and luckily for Trini, we were able to keep up. So honestly, I think if you had a 5-on-5 between the top five old gen and the top five new gen from now, I'd honestly take, I think I'd win and I think Seth would win. I think there are some people that could probably get Trini right these days, or at least get like a draw off on him. So I don't know. I think it might just end in the new gen's favor, honestly, in a 5-on-5. And then what was the second question?
Yeah, it was basically like, if they would came here and invaded us, what do you think would happen? You answered that, right? Like, what was, in your opinion, who are like you said who the top five old gens were. Who, in your opinion, is the top five, like, new gens? Like, who you think sticks out in the current community?
I think the people who stick out to me as the current top five new gens, obviously, I think I said Jester already. Um, who else are some really impressive people to me? Uh, honestly, I haven't been watching tons of debates because of how like just obtuse people can. I think Bubbles is really good now that I think about it, but he's kind of not around the community anymore. I think it's just inarguable to say that, or at least from my experience, Troy seemed like he was a new gen. Troy's goated. That's goated with the sauce for sure. Um, I mean, a lot of these people use a style of debate that I don't necessarily find interesting, and I'm trying to avoid just naming my friends, but I genuinely do feel like my friends are the top five, like some of the best new gens that are around, like Wook, Bubbles, um, you, uh, who else? Troy. I mean, some people you considered six new gen technically because he hasn't been around for too long. I think six is definitely goated right now in the calm. Who else do I think is really good? I mean, I also think David is really good. So it really just depends on, you know, I'd have to check again when they all entered, but I think those are all off the top of my head some really good people that are still active and have been, it came out as of recently. So those are probably my top five favorite best new gens in my honest opinion.
Okay, okay, that's valid. And these are gonna be the last two questions. In your
Okay.
opinion, out of your whole debate experience, you've been here for quite some time. Who was your hardest debate? Who made you want to sit there and punch right through your monitor, rip your hair out, like I want to get out this debate type debate?
Um, I think that the hardest debates that I ever had was probably that two-part debate. That two debate rivalry that I had with Taurus, probably a good 3 years ago. A lot of people don't know Taurus Silver is, but outside of Seth, he was pretty much considered the GOAT of Dragon Ball Z. So it was my mission to take him down, and I lost the first time, but that was a failing on my own part. I got lazy towards the end. I'm not taking the win away from him, but there are definitely things I could have done to improve. And by the time I debated him the second time, I was strangling both him and Carthu at the same time with one hand, like I'm fucking Black Frieza. So that 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 felt pretty good to settle it like that, especially when both those debates, I want to say both of them ended up being like 2.5 hours long of us going through Dragon Ball Z scaling. So Taurus Silver is probably the most intense debate, like rivalry I was probably most enthralled in.
Okay, okay. And from your, initial entry into the community up until now, how much do you think you've improved?
I mean, I think it's like astronomical. I think it's just like, I think if people were to like, there, even if it still exists, if anybody's ever interested in what I used to sound like, if you look up Aeroflame versus Aro Daro, the same Aro Daro that Apollo puts at the, near the top of his list, but we're not going to talk about that. I beat the shit out of him, but it was a lot different than how I am now. It was a lot more of a focus on um, traditional debate stylings and tactics. Like a lot of people know that I was classically trained. Like I was taught in a school setting of how to debate. So it was pretty much just premise one support, premise two support, and then a more organic version of the cross examination that exists within I think Lincoln and Douglas bit debates. Um, but then as I've gotten older and I've learned to be more natural and more concise and more, just I've just learned a lot more things that I can do in order to make myself come over and come across easier. I think that like the difference between me even last year and me now is just absurd. I think that I'm the one of the people who have consistently grown the most ever, and I think that the proof of that is in that the 5 or 6 years I've been around, you can probably say I've lost definitively maybe like 10, 15 debates. So I just think that in terms of improvement, I'm just constantly improving. I'm like fucking side time. I can one shot myself the day before. But that's my take on that.
Yeah, that's pretty great. It's really good hearing your insight on the community and your experiences. Thank you so much for letting me interview you. It was an honor. I remember I first joined the debate community, and the first guy I heard of was of you. Kind of like my whole debate style. If it wasn't like blatantly obvious, it was really based off of like the way you debate now. Because I was also like classically trained as well, and so I saw you did something, and I thought it worked, and it does work. And so thank you so much for hopping on here, Arrow. Thank you a lot, man.
Yeah, anytime, bro. You know, you my homie. I always do a favor for you, man.
All right,
Anytime.
for sure. And thank you guys for watching. I'll hit you guys with the next interview. Peace out.